So food inflation remains low, and is expected to remain low, particularly if we look forward to the rains that we hope will be coming in a matter of days, and actually have already arrived in some parts of the country. Fuel inflation, and indeed the price of fuel, continues to decline, or fuel inflation continues to decline and remains below 5%, despite the adjustments that took place last year, towards the end of last year, and also the adjustments that have taken place with regard to pump prices by the Energy Regulatory Commission. And we also know that there was a downward revision in electricity tariffs in November of 2018. And all this have helped keep fuel inflation sort of on a downward trend. What is clear in the economy, there is markedly vibrant growth, or a vibrant economy. But there are some points of weakness, and I want to point to one of this. And this is the performance of the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, the MSMEs. And this is something we'll come back to. Obviously, it is a particularly, it's a sector that is of particular concern, as we know, in terms of employment, in terms of GDP even, etc. The foreign exchange market has remained balanced, and it's expected to remain so. On the back of favorable flows and obviously the environment. The reserves, as you know, are in the order of 8,251 million, so 8,251 million US dollars, and this is about 5.3 months of imports. So no concern in terms of coverage, in terms of, these are adequate. I wanted to mention a few things on, additionally, on the investor and consumer confidence, which remains strong. And for instance, in the MPC market perception survey, this continues to show strong optimism, right? Over 92% of the respondents, banks and also non-banks, show or responded that they were very optimistic or optimistic. So optimistic or very optimistic about a strong growth outcome in 2019. So this is over 92% of the respondents, and I think that's a good number to sort of work with. So it has remained high. So some of you asked about the recent discoveries of fake currencies, right? Yes, there has been such findings of criminal activities. And the latest of this was the finding in a Barclays Bank branch in the middle of a city. Now, the point here is that, and those particular ones were, let's say, were in a safe deposit box. What we have here? Well, first, we need to be clear that there is a bit of an abuse of the safe deposit boxes. I don't know if you know, I'm sure most of you have seen how big a safe deposit box is. It's a bit the equivalent of your PO box, for those of us that still use PO boxes, right? So it's a small thing. But you saw that the boxes that were carrying the currency, the fake currency, was something like what? 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. It was a 1 meter cube. A bit like the ones you put your cameras in when you are sending your camera to another country, those nice foamy things, right? And you have 2 people to carry it, right? Anyway, the point I'm making is clearly that is an abuse of the safe deposit box sort of services that are provided by a bank. And at the same time, it is important to note that those currencies, those fake currencies, let's put it that way, were not in the banking system. Anything that is in your drawer or in the safe deposit box are not in the banking system. It's a bit like keeping, exactly like a PO box, right? So only that the PO box is owned by the bank, right, for safekeeping. So those, whatever it was not in the banking system. So there are no fears that you'll be getting fake currency from Barclays or any other bank, because they would have to, the transaction is with money that the bank has. And as you know, it goes through all sorts of checks.